Die Geschichte vom Schloss Trachselwald geht auf mehr als über 800 Jahre zurück. Die historischen Anfänge sind dunkel. Schloss Trachselwald oder Burg.
The history of the Trachselwald Castle goes back more than 800 years. The historical beginnings are shrouded in darkness. It is not proven that Trachselwald was the seat of the Zeringer family, for example. The castle, or fortress, was most likely built in the 12th century by the landed aristocrats, and that's where they lived. The castle is named from the village of Trachselwald, which is nearby. Politically, the most prominent time period for Trachselwald was that of the Peasants' Revolt in 1653. Samuel Tribolit, the bailiff at that time, was known to be cruel and hard. Following his arrest, the leaders of the peasants, Nicholas Leuenberger, was brought to the Trachselwald Castle and was imprisoned there in what is now known as the Leuenberger cell, until he was transferred to Burgdorf and Bern. At the time of the Anabaptist persecution, the castle was the official seat of the Trachselwald bailiff. The Anabaptist families were run down and their properties were confiscated. Courageous Anabaptists were put into dungeon in Castle Trachselwald. They were tortured, exiled, or even executed. Hans Haslibacher, the last Anabaptist to be executed, lived not far from the castle. Of him is the famous Hasselberger song sung. Historically, Trachselwald Castle is one of the most important, or even the most important location in the canton of Bern, or even in the entire Switzerland with respect to the Anabaptist persecution. In 2007, we began the Anabaptist Memorial Year. At that time, I was in charge of the castle, which is to say that it was the seat of the Trachselwald regional government, where I was the governor. Today, the communities of the Trachselwald region belong to the Immental Administrative District, and my official seat is newly in the city of Langnau, in Immental. In the Anabaptist year, thousands of Anabaptist family members from Europe and abroad came to Trachselwald, back to the roots of their forefathers. As the administrative governor, I expressed my deep regret for the unspeakable suffering that the ancestors of the Anabaptists here in the Immental, in the Trachselwald Castle, had to experience. And I asked for pardon in the name of the government for all the injustice that was committed here. There were very moving moments of reconciliation, of pondering, and also forgiveness. Now someone from the government had asked for forgiveness for the affliction that the Anabaptist family suffered. Now we could forgive and let it go. This was very impressive for me.
I can safely speak for the whole delegation here.
Und ich kann und werde auch jetzt für die ganze Delegation sprechen.
We forgive you.
Wir vergeben ihn.
Lisa Kipfer, you are a member of the oldest existing Mennonite church in this world, or Mennonite community, which is, you can maybe figure out, it is Langnau in the Emmental, quite close to the place we are now, the castle of Trachselwald. My first question to you is, does this place have a meaning for you as a church and also for you as a person or as a family?
Moll, also das Schloss hat schon eine sehr Bedeutung, besonders weil unsere Vorfahren, Vorvorfahren auch hier waren. Und wir gehen auch als Gemeinde etwa hier, hauptsächlich mit den Jungen, weil sie Unterweisungsdinge haben, also von der Geschichte her.
The castle had real meaning for our immediate ancestors and those further back. From our town, we bring folks here, mainly the young people when they are studying history. We take a lot of Americans into the keep, and they are very impressed with what their ancestors went through in this castle and that prison.
Yeah, Lisa, in case we get all the money together to really build this foundation, 500,000 first, and then another 1.5 million for renovation works that had really to be done. Do you think that when the flow of American people coming here to this place will even grow bigger, and there pour more people into the Emmental from America, either Amish people or Mennonite, would it have an impact on your church and your community? Do you think you also would profit from such a progress, from such a process going on?
Ja, ich denke wohl. Also, ich würde sagen, es sind alle immer herzlich willkommen. Es ist eine wunderbare Gegend und wir freuen uns immer wieder, wenn wir also Verbindungen sehen, gerade mit Amerika, weil sie sind sehr fest verbunden.
All are very welcome. It is a wonderful region, and we are always happy when there are connections with America. They are strong, and many have roots here in the Emmental. It is a wonderful area, and it pays to see it. They are welcome to come to our community. There's always someone around to provide a tour, retired people, for example. Some visitors come to our church services, and that is always a joy.
I got a home in that rock, don't you see? I got a home in that rock, don't you see? Between the earth and sky, thought I heard my Savior cry. You got a home in that rock, don't you see? Oh, I got a home in that rock, don't you see? Don't you see? I got a home in that rock, don't you see? Don't you see? Between the earth and sky, I thought I heard my Savior. You got a home in that rock, don't you see? Don't you see?
Mein Name ist Ernest Geiser, ich bin Pastor von einer Mennonitengemeinde im Berner Jura, also im französischen Teil von der Schweiz. Und ich freue mich hier wieder.
My name is Ernst Geiser. I am the pastor of a Mennonite congregation in the Bernese Jura in the French-speaking part of Switzerland. I am happy to be here at Trachselwald again, a place which has a lot of importance for us, both us Swiss Anabaptists, but also for international Anabaptist families. It is a place where, earlier, powers confronted each other, the force of the authorities, but also the convincing power that Anabaptists had, where we said we have a treasure in our relationship with God. Here, we stayed true to our beliefs. For sure, this place is important for history, but also for the present and the future, because different opinions are constantly running up against each other, and the history has shown how important it is we have contact with one another, speak with each other.
Und das ist ja im Zusammenhang mit der Täufergeschichte, das dürfen geschehen in den letzten Jahren, vor allem seit den 2000er Jahren, wo
And in connection with Anabaptist history, this has taken place in the last few years, especially since 2000, when the Swiss Reformed Church and the Anabaptists have come together for discussions and reconciliation. and we have seen how important this place Trachselwald is and how in the future it can receive people and give impulses in showing how people with different convictions can get along with each other. And for this reason, we are very interested in seeing that it will be possible for people to come and go here.
Poor man Lazarus, poor as I, don't you see, don't you see? Poor man Lazarus, poor as I, don't you see, don't you see? Poor man Lazarus, poor as I, and when he died on a home on high, he had a home in that rock, don't you see, don't you see? I got a home in that rock, don't you see, don't you see?
Hello, my name is Michel Hummel. As you hear, my mother tongue is not English, but I had the privilege to study in Elkhart from 89 to 91 at the AMBS, Associated Mennonite Biblical Seminaries. I know today it's Anabaptist Mennonite Seminary. I am also an elder working in the Sonnenberg Mennonite Church in Jura, and I teach in Bern French in a high school. 2 years ago, in 2012, in the next village here, we are here in Trachselwald, but the next village is Sumiswald, we had the European Mennonite Conference. During this conference, we had a workshop and a very interesting question. Somebody said, it's too bad. In the West, in Europe, in North America, the churches are rich maybe, but they are more and more empty. And in the South, the churches are full and people are involved and there are a good spirit. And among us was the secretary of the Mennonite World Conference, Cesar Garcia. And he had a very good answer to this remark, to this observation. He told us we need more, both. We need people of the North who had a nice history, a long history, a long tradition. And we need people of the South. Maybe they are fragile because they don't have roots. And we need your roots. And we need also the enthusiasm of the people of the South. So here in Trachselwald, I think we could meet each other because there is a place of history, of tradition, but we could see together the future. It's like with a car. If you don't have side view mirrors, it's hard to go further. If you have only a windshield without side view mirrors, it's very difficult to know where you go. We have also here a duty of memory. So long people are suffering and persecuted, we have to speak about our history, our tradition, and try to do something better, to change what is wrong and unjust in our world. So I hope together, people with traditions, with history, with spirit, we could soon meet each other here and try to do better, to have a better future, to reflect. So we need your generosity, your solidarity, and we will try here in Switzerland to work together, people from Emmental, Jura, Basel, and to have a network. See you soon, hopefully here in Trachselwald, having new visions and building together the kingdom of God. Thank you.
Rich man dies, he lives so well. Don't you see? Rich man dies, he lives so well. Don't you see? Rich man dies, he lives so well. And when he died, had a home in hell. He had no home in that rock. Don't you see?
Ich bin der Walter Wieland und ich bin seit über 30 Jahren hier im Emmental. Zuerst als Pfarrer in der Landeskirche und nachher vor einer unabhängigen Gemeinde. Und das Schloss hier, das Trachselwald, hat in den ersten Jahren...
I am Walter Wieland, and I have lived more than 30 years here in the Emmental, first as a pastor of the State Reformed Church, and afterwards for an independent congregation. In the first years, Trachselwald Castle wasn't very important for me. It was only when I met Anabaptists and Amish who came from America, and when I learned what a deep emotional connection there was to that place. This was very moving for me and made me think about it. I learned that for many people the castle is a very dark place, and only later did it become a place of light, as a well-known Anabaptist tour guide told me.
Ich habe gemerkt, wie in den vorigen Jahrhunderten viele Männer und Frauen aus dem ganzen Emmental müssen den Weg über die Hügel und Wälder nehmen, hier zu dem Schloss Trachselwald. Und hier sind sie verurteilt worden. Und hier manchmal gestorben sind.
And I noticed that in the previous centuries, many men and women from the whole of the Emmental had to go on pathways over the hills and through forests here to the Trachselwald Castle to be condemned, and many died. The families suffered a lot, and I believe that God has chosen this castle here to become a place of reconciliation. Earlier, it was a place of accusation, of condemnation, where families suffered, and I am convinced the castle belongs to the Anabaptists. It belongs to those people who were here caused to suffer. It can become a place where school classes can come, where folks from all walks of life can come and feel how God is a God of reconciliation, of renewal, and where new life, new hope can break through.
God gave Noah the rainbow sign, don't you see? God gave Noah the rainbow sign, don't you see?
Mein Name ist Christian Waber. Ich bin Gemeindepräsident von Sumiswald. Das ist die Nachbargemeinde hier von dem Schloss Trachselwald.
My name is Christian Waber. I am the mayor of Sumiswald, a village near the Trachselwald Castle. For 12 years I have been politically involved in the Swiss National Parliament. I know the importance that such a bulwark can have as a lighthouse for Switzerland and the whole world.
Und ich freue mich, dass das hier ein Treffpunkt werden kann.
I am glad that this can become a meeting place for young and old, where peace can be found and where we can go towards one another. And the Anabaptist past, which here in Canton Bern involves a lot of guilt, can be worked on. And that here a way can be found where we can approach each other and we can look towards the future with joy and confidence.
God gave Noah the rainbow sign, and no more water but fire next time. Oh Lord.
We are very glad to have you in our film, in our DVD, about the project of the Castle Trachselwald Foundation, because you're probably the most important person of all of us. You're the mayor of Trachselwald, and we would like to know from you, what is this area Trachselwald, or county of Trachselwald, could be translated like this in English. What is this area and where is the castle as maybe the most important point?
Also, wir haben hier die Gemeinde Trachselwald, die knapp 16 Quadratkilometer gross ist. Wir haben hier vorne Trachselwald mit diesem schönen Schloss.
Here we have the community of Trachselwald that occupies an area of 16 square kilometers. To the left is the beautiful Trachselwald Castle, and then the community, which has a very irregular boundary. The lowest point is the Hopfra, which is 660 meters above sea level, and from there the valley goes through the individual villages that fit very beautifully into the landscape. Here we have the Napf Mountain, the highest point, which has an altitude of 1,200 meters above sea level. In this way, our community fits nicely into the countryside.
This is a very big surprise for me to see that you have here the flag or arms coat of Bern, Indiana. And it seems, as I heard, that you have already a close relationship established with an American partner, which is Bern, Indiana. And so we think it would not be for you a problem to have even more tight relations with America. I guess your children in school learn already in first class primary school English, so that when the American people come to Trachselwald, they can speak with them fluently.
Im Jahr 2007 war hier in unserer Gemeinde das Täuferjahr. Dort sind die ersten Beziehungen oder weitere
In 2007, we had the Anabaptist year in our community. Then began our relationship with America. The community secretary and I even went to Bern, Indiana. There we got to know the country and people, and were surprised to learn about all the connections with the Emmental.
Dort haben wir lange Leute kennen und waren überrascht, wie viele Beziehungen das zu uns im Emmental sind. Und so haben wir weiterhin regen Kontakt miteinander. Unsere Kinder, die tun mit diesen Leuten, mit diesen Kindern schreiben. Sie haben Brieffreundschaften aufbauen. Und so ist Kontakt.
Since then, we continue to have contact with each other. Our kids write to children there. Pen pal friendships have built up, and that's the contact we have. And when more come from America, no matter where from, we have room for them. We enjoy being hosts and the contacts we have, and I look forward to show our castle and our landscape because our relationships are already in place.
The American listeners who see this might also be interested in knowing what is the meaning of the castle itself for you as people from Trachselwald.
Das Schloss Trachselwald war immer ein Schloss, das die Leute beherrscht hat. Das Schloss Trachselwald ist seit
Those at Trachselwald Castle always ruled over other people. They saw to it that there was law and order. But lots of injustice also took place there.
Heute, wo keine Verwaltung mehr, kein Gericht mehr dort ist, möchte ich, dass man das Schloss zum Frieden nutzen kann. Geschichte aufzeigen, was ist passiert.
And now that there are no longer courts and lawyers there, I want the castle to be used to promote peace, to show the history of what happened so things like that won't ever happen again. That's why we want to open the castle and show what took place there, and also show that we can be peaceful there and begin something new.
Better get a hold in that rock. 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 Better get a hold up in that rock. Don't you see?
Die meisten Leute, die hierher kommen, sind vielfach das erste Mal in Europa, in der Schweiz. Es ist sehr eindrücklich, sie zu begleiten, vor allem wenn sie noch ein Dokument haben, wo sie herkommen ursprünglich.
Most of those who come here are often in Europe and in Switzerland for the first time. It's always impressive to accompany them, especially when they have a document showing where they originated from, a baptismal certificate, or some sort of family document that's been handed down through generations. And I can take them to the place where their ancestors grew up. Very impressing are the emotions that are evoked there. It doesn't need a lot of words, but needs a certain amount of time to work that through and understand it.
During the tourist office of the Emmental in Burgdorf, I'm the head of Emmental Tourism. My name is Christian Billau, and I'm responsible for the tourism destination marketing of the region of Emmental. The Emmental region is famous for its cheese, and the Emmental region is really famous for its history. And one of the history, one part, took place in the castle of Trachselwald. The Trachselwald castle is for us a really important scenic tourism point.
So I welcome you here on our farm Hinterhütten. I'm Regula Vanker, I'm here since 1998 when I got married with my husband Simon. And just last week we had a group of 24 Amish people, and they came over here. I made a tour in English and we had a lunch together, and the whole afternoon they worked here on our farm. They were up to the hill and helped to outside the man's that work with the wood, and I had some women in my garden.
It would never have occurred to me to produce an open air here. The reason was that I had a prophetic inspiration where I was told that God should be praised here with music in the year of the Anabaptists.
Best greetings from Spiez, from Schürchwalter and Elischer from Spiez, in the wonderful Berner Oberland. Huh?
Seit 2010 steht das Schloss Trachselwald leer. Das Schloss ist im Besitz vom Kanton Bern und die Berner Regierung, der Regierungsrat, ist zuständig. Das Schloss ist ein Baudenkmal von nationaler Bedeutung, ein wunderschönes, kleines, aber sehr würdiges Schloss. Eine Arbeitsgruppe unter meiner Leitung ist vom Regierungsrat vom Kanton Bern beauftragt worden, für das Schloss eine neue Nutzung zu suchen. Es ist nicht ganz ein einfaches Unterfangen. Das Ziel des Kantons ist ganz klar, dass die Geschichte der Öffentlichkeit muss erhalten.
The castle, owned by the canton of Bern, has now stood empty since 2010. The castle is a monument of national importance. A working group that I direct has been charged by the canton to search for a new usage. It is obvious that we need to preserve its history. The Peasants' Revolt, the Reformatory for the Poor, founded by the Swiss poet Jeremias Gotthelf, and especially the moving history of the Anabaptists. The latter should remain an important theme in the Trachselwald Castle. The many visitors from Europe and America make this clear.
Wir wollen aber nicht bei der Geschichte bleiben stehen. Das Schloss soll ein Begegnungsort von der Zukunft mit der Geschichte sein. Es soll auch der Friedensförderung dienen. Wir wollen auch weiter schauen und wir wollen nicht das Dunkle stehen im Schloss, sondern wir wollen auch...
We don't, however, wish to stay fixed on the history. In the future, the castle should become a meeting place with history. A study for the reutilization has already been prepared. That it remains interesting for visitors, though, investments of around $3.3 million have to be made. The maintenance of the castle should be ensured through the creation of a foundation. Canton Bern is willing to sell the property, which has an estimated worth of over $2 million, for just $1. That is, they are willing to let the foundation have it at no cost. The board of directors, which have yet to be elected, are to put the concept that was prepared into practice and, within the framework of the concept, look to its further future. It is today already the case that Anabaptist families are represented in the planning. We can expect around 1 to 1.3 million from public monies. An additional 2 million must be raised, though, through sponsoring and voluntary donations. I know that for Anabaptist families in Switzerland, and especially for those in Europe and the USA, Trachselwald Castle already has an enormous significance. This interest is the principal incentive for what we are undertaking. It would be very helpful if we could receive lots of positive feedback. Today it is not easy to raise such a sum as large as 2 million through voluntary donations. For this we will be grateful for even the smallest amount. If you see your way clear to contribute to this project, helping us to reach this goal, that would be very beautiful. God will see and reward.
Und der Tag hat sich